You've probably seen the Architectural Digest video where three designers reimagine the same empty home office. No clients, no limits, just creativity. Well, I couldn't resist the challenge. In this video, I'll show you how I'd redesign the exact same space from this to this. And because I'm an architect, I'm going beyond the brief. More angles, more context, and more insights into the design thinking. Let's break it down. Reconstructing the image in a 3D space. The first thing I want to do is to take the image that AD shared and recreate the space in 3D. And I want to match the edges of the room exactly so I can work on the exact same challenge. This is what it looks like in my 3D. Right away, I notice a couple of things about this room that will influence how I approach my design. Let's clear the furniture and have a closer look. The first thing that I observe is the built-in shelf at the back of the room. First of all, it is strange that someone would go through the effort to create a built-in shelf on the outside wall, but only halfway, not for the entire length of the wall, and then that they would add spotlights over the area that actually has the most light in the room. Don't you find this odd? I'm going to play Sherlock Holmes here for a bit, but my suspicion is that there's some kind of shaft going through the corner of the room, and to hide it, the designer decided to add a built-in shelf next to it, and then expanded it over the window to make the wall look more uniform, and to justify this expansion, they added two spotlights over the window. If you could fit a table in that corner, then perhaps this intervention would not be completely pointless, but since the original table is on the left, there isn't much use to the spotlights right over the window. Now, I don't need the built-in shelf or the spotlights, but a shaft can be an element that is difficult to remove from a room. It could be that there is a bathroom on the upper floor and the shaft hides a primary water pipe, or perhaps a ventilation pipe of sorts. I find that even when there's plenty of budget, clients still like to make sensible choices. So I'm going to keep the shaft in my design, and I'm going to assume it's about 30 centimeters wide. It is big enough for many things. The second element I see here is a beam. Now, beams can't be removed that easily either because they influence the structure of the house. Now, you can change the structure of the house for really good reasons, which I'm going to offer later on. But for now, we are going to keep the beam as well. One of the most striking and problematic features in this room is the window. At first glance, it doesn't seem unusually small, but in proportion to the size of the room, it definitely doesn't seem like enough. Its position doesn't do it any favors either, and to make matters worse, the window frame chops the glazing into numerous small sections, severely restricting the amount of natural light that can enter. When I rendered this room with just daylight, the room turned out surprisingly dark, almost gloomy. It became clear that this is not a space you'd want to work in for hours without feeling completely drained. I've mentioned this in other videos as well, but natural light massively influences our mood and overall well-being. It significantly influences our focus and ability to concentrate, so one of the main design strategies of this home office is to increase natural light by creating a bigger window. The assignment doesn't specify the location of this room. If this had been a room in an apartment building, changing the window would be very difficult, I would say nearly impossible. However, I chose to imagine that this room might be in a home in the countryside surrounded by a forest, and in that case, you could also change the exterior wall. So instead of this window strangely positioned right into the corner, giving dungeon vibes, I would like to have a proper corner window that spans over two walls, thus allowing a lot more light into the room and providing a beautiful view to the outdoors. Now, when you cut into the wall like that, removing a corner pillar and the pillar that connects to the beam, you're triggering some kind of major structural changes, as well as budget changes. But as the brief says, we have no restrictions. This design decision is totally doable and, in my opinion, worth it. This next step is one of my absolute favorites because it delivers a trifecta of results: function, flexibility, and atmosphere. I'm adding a suspended ceiling. Not only does it cleverly conceal the additional structural reinforcement that we might have to undertake for the window we just created, but it also gives me far more freedom when it comes to positioning lighting elements in the room. But there's more. By adjusting the ceiling height, I'm also subtly correcting the room's proportions. What once looked like a narrow, poorly lit corridor will now read as a cozy, well-balanced room. I think you're now beginning to see this design come together. The old window had too many frames. The one I'm going for is a frameless corner window. This is typically achieved by recessing the frame into the wall and ceiling structure, or by using slimline aluminum or steel profiles that are either concealed or painted to match the surroundings. The glass appears to be embedded directly into the wall, creating the illusion that there's almost no frame at all. The result is a clean, seamless look that blurs the boundaries between the indoor and the outdoor spaces. There is a shelf positioned above the window, which can serve as additional storage as well as support for the curtain rail. The use of sheer curtains helps soften the natural light and adjust its intensity as needed. The windowsill doubles as a work surface, with the wood framing extending around the perimeter to give the window a unified look. The long and narrow table is made of maple wood and spans the entire window, creating an ideal setting for reading, working, or taking in the view. Let's talk about the floor. There's something about walking barefoot on wood that feels so calming and grounding. So for this room, I picked a white planked engineered flooring with underfloor heating for maximum comfort. I also wanted to be wire brushed so that the surface of the wood is not smooth but has light ridges that you can feel with the soles of your feet. Imagine sitting in this study, a hot cocoa in your hand, your toes touching a warm wooden floor, looking out the window at the crisp winter forest landscape. What a wonderful experience that is. I also chose a darker color wood. You will see this in art compositions a lot too, but keeping the floor a little darker makes the room feel more stable and grounded. To the left, a built-in bench provides a cozy, informal spot to relax or read. The drawers underneath operate with a push technique and don't require any handles, which can hurt your legs if you're not careful. Next to it, at the back, there is a daybed. The daybed also features a wall-mounted backrest, providing a comfortable spot for lounging, reading, or working in a more relaxed setting. Its design offers support for sitting or lying down, making it perfect for daytime naps. The soft cushions and blanket are in neutral colors, blending seamlessly with the room's aesthetic, while the wood choice ties it to the other furniture, creating a unified look. Just like the bench, the daybed also has storage underneath, maximizing the overall storage capacity of the room. The link between the daybed and the seating area is a special one. These are two pieces of furniture that are essentially at the same height, but the mattress on the daybed makes it look slightly higher, and it appears to be biting into the bench, which adds a very elegant detail to this composition. The area next to the daybed on the side bench adds the support for all sorts of knickknacks. It also has a charging station for electronics, or it can be a place for a round pillow to add more softness and protect the body from hitting any hard surfaces. The floating shelves add to the minimalist design by concealing any attachment brackets. In the color white, they also have a light, airy feel, enhancing the overall sense of space. The shelves, the rear shaft, and the white bench surface are visually connected, creating a cohesive and streamlined look. The room features a chair and a stool. They both have a farmhouse aesthetic, adding a rustic charm to the room. Together, they break the straight functional lines, making the room look softer and more natural, enhancing the room's cozy vibe without overpowering the other furniture. The bench is decorated with a few paintings and a sitting cushion, adding a personal and artistic touch to the space. On the floating shelves, an eclectic collection of art books, small pieces of art, and souvenirs add character to the room. This arrangement creates a curated, lived-in feel, adding layers of personality and creativity without overwhelming the design's simplicity. Let's talk about lighting. The room has multiple direct and indirect sources. There are two linear ceiling lights. One is placed along the left edge of the ceiling, and the other marks the middle of the wall on the left side of the window. Another neon strip light runs along the bottom shelf, casting an even indirect light over the art and objects on the bench, subtly drawing attention to them. Another strip light runs along the curtain rail, enhancing the light above the desk and emphasizing the horizontal lines that pull you into the room. The pendant light above the daybed adds another layer of light, further contributing to the room's warm and intimate atmosphere. There's also a second pendant light above the right side of the table, which you can only see if you turn. From the same family, there are two more additional wall-mounted lights placed on the left and right side of the bench. These light fixtures are designed to provide both functionality and decorative flair, enhancing the room's visual appeal. The desk lamp near the window serves as a focused task lighting, providing ample light for reading or working. Its angle can be adjusted to provide direct illumination on the work surface, enhancing functionality during nighttime use. Final thoughts. One of the most beautiful and powerful design elements is nature itself. Research consistently shows that exposure to natural views reduces stress and enhances overall well-being. When we can look at nature while working, it directly boosts productivity and improves the quality of our work. That's why providing ample views of nature is not just an aesthetic choice, it's a step towards high performance and mental well-being. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel. It helps me immensely create more content like this one.